right?
Okay,
so,
wait. Can we stop right there? Can you just explain the difference between type 1 and type 2?
Okay, cool. So,
pretend like I know nothing.
No,
Like
it's cool.
like,
and also, like,
explain it to me like I'm a 6-year-old.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And especially, like, for the people watching, because it is quite complex, but I'm going to put it at the simplest form.
Okay, yeah.
Right? So, you normally, in a normal person like you, normal. Yeah. You eat, let's say you eat carbs, for example, right? You eat your proteins, you eat your carbs, and, your greens or whatever. Now, the proteins and the greens, not so much of a concern.
Okay.
Right? But the carbs break down into sugar, into glucose molecules in your system.
Okay.
So if this room, right, is, let's say this is your blood, your bloodstream, right? So obviously the glucose is released into your blood. You need to get that blood out of this room. Like, let's say this is an artery or vein or whatever.
Yes.
And on the other side of your door is the cells.
Okay.
So you know that feeling after you eat and you're like, oh, I feel better. I feel like I have energy.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You need insulin to feel that way.
Okay.
So insulin acts like a key.
Okay.
To unlock the door, unlock the windows. So now it releases the glucose, carefully controlled out into the cells, and then it sort of like gets converted into energy.
Okay,
right?
got it.
At the simplest form.
Got it.
Then what happens in type 1 diabetics, the pancreas, which produces insulin, which produces those keys to unlock the door, right? The pancreas actually gets attacked by the body's own immune system. And doctors don't know why. Right?
So they still haven't found
They
explanation
still don't know why.
this happens.
They still don't know why.
Wow.
Your body's immune system is like, there's a foreign invader, there's an enemy, so it attacks the pancreas and basically the cells that produce that insulin. So now you're no longer able to produce insulin. So what happens is your blood glucose just builds up. The glucose just builds up in your blood and it gets dangerously high. Your body can still produce energy on its own, but then it takes off the reserve fat and muscle cells on the other side of the door, which is not the ideal way. And that you call ketosis. So the keto thing that people are talking about.
Yeah.
So it's not good to do long term.
Okay. So that diet for diabetics are not good for long term.
Well, I wouldn't advise it. I wouldn't do it, and I wouldn't advise it. Look, the thing is that's debatable because there's a lot of diabetics that follow a low carb, sort of high fat sort of thing. But I'll get to that now. I just want to conclude this point, right?
Okay.
So what happens is insulin. So now you need to, instead of your body carefully regulating those amounts of keys that unlock the doors, you need to now take insulin and inject it. But you need to be careful with the dosage that you inject. Because what insulin does is, if it's too little, then the sugar left over in your blood, if that's too high, you can develop long-term complications with your kidneys and eyes, etc., right?
So you got the kidney failure, dialysis, that kind of thing.
Kidney disease and all of that. But also, if you inject too much insulin and too much of this glucose in this room leaves through that door, you need the glucose to remain in your blood at a certain level.
So how do you know exactly how much to administer at that time?
So you have an insulin to carb ratio, which differs for everyone.
Watch the entire episode on YouTube on the official podcast channel In These Streets with Leiru, or listen to it on Spotify, Apple, and everywhere else. We're in these streets!